Well, hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I'm your host, Amazing Super Chris Miller. Thank you for joining me. I've already got a question in the chat from a newbie, a new person I don't recognize anyway, from Fustino5. Good morning, Fustino5. I'll answer that here in just a minute. I hope you guys have had a great week so far. It's Wednesday, the day of the hump day, the day of humps. I've been having internet problems. I don't know if you noticed the show was late getting the show started, like created, and then late getting it fired up and all that. It's just the internet's been up and down, and if it continues, I mean, we won't be, we'll see. May the internet gods bless us. We'll see. All right, guys, we'll be back in just a minute.
Life is complicated. These are trying times. There are many questions that need answering. Want to know what's going to help? Atheism. With atheism, you'll get rid of dogma, superstitions, and toxic thought patterns that are holding you back. You can drive while taking atheism, as well as use heavy machinery. In fact, drinking alcohol, fornicating, and Sunday mornings are far more enjoyable with atheism. However, there are side effects. Some evangelicals and fundamentalists will think you are possessed by the devil. But you don't have to worry, because you know the devil isn't real. Just like God. Wake up to your life. Believe in yourself. Believe in science. Atheism.
All right. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great day. It has been a pretty interesting week. We've been covering some interesting topics so far, though. I mean, well, you know what? Something that's come up, and I'm going to talk about specifically on the show tomorrow, is the Euthyphro dilemma kind of thing. The comparison between, we've got divine command theory, which is, if God says it's good, it's good. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Then there's this, I think I'm saying it right, Euthyphro. It's kind of, it's a thing where it's essentially, is it good because God says it's good? Or is it good, then therefore God says it's good? Does God saying it's good make it good? Or does it being good make God say it's good? Euthyphro. I even looked it up. Let me see here. Let me see how it told me to say it. I was saying it right earlier. Of course, my Texas accent, you know how it is. Let's see, search for pronunciation. I did this earlier, but you know how it is. Euthyphro. Not, yeah, Euthyphro. Yeah. You guys are fantastic. Anyways, essentially, that's kind of the deal. Does God make something, say something good is what makes it good, or is there something that is good and then, and so part of the deal, the reason why it even came up is there's this guy, he's a debater, and he goes around debating people. And somebody asked me about him and if I wanted to, or if I knew anything about his stuff. And I didn't actually, but a lot of it hinges on the whole Andrew Wilson's arguments for against secular humanism. And a lot of that kind of is really weak stuff. If you've gone and seen any of it, I've heard some of the arguments. I've never gone and witnessed an apologist specifically use them in a debate format, but the moral grounding argument, we hear about this all the time on the show about how can we have moral grounding? What's good? How can I determine what's good? Is just my opinion? I hate it when they ask that. That's stupid. Well, yeah, I guess it is just my opinion. Technically, it is. And it's your opinion, too. Really, even if you're a theist and you're a believer in your objective morality, it's going to be your opinion as to what that objective morality says and thinks. Right? It's open to interpretation. It one time, two times says lying with a man like a lying with a woman is an abomination. As many times it says eating shellfish is an abomination. A couple times it says cutting the curls on the side of your hair is a sin. Atheists believe everything came from nothing. Interesting. That's fantastic. Theists believe an all-knowing, all-powerful creature came from nothing. already fully formed, knowing everything, fully formed, just popped into existence and then started creating shit. Interesting. So, I mean, we actually have now, we got like what do you call it? Quantum science, quantum theories, hypotheses and theories. And what they're working on now is actually this effect coming before cause on a quantum level. And I know that it's probably a lot of words, it doesn't mean anything, but essentially what it's saying is technically quantum science tells us it's possible the universe literally could have kicked itself off out of nothing. The whole thing all by itself, just off with nothing. Not a God creature, not a person, not a believer. And then you got to go, man. You got to go. How can you even claim, even remotely claim that if you could prove there was a God creature that created everything, all the universe, of course, your God creature's outside of time, of course. If you could prove that, Oh, I forgot something. I'm sorry. Okay, there was a person in the chat. Sorry, I'm distracted. I got to go back from this or I'll forget. There was a person in the chat earlier who asked me why I don't take calls. And this is what we're talking about here is a great example of why we don't take calls. And that's because we go through this all the time. It's the same thing. I get tired of doing the same thing over and over again. I talk to Christians. They come on here and they go, no, this is not true. And I'm like, well, look here in the Bible. And it says this. That's not true. And then they just lie and equivocate. And it really gets old. It gets old over and over and over again, having to take a call from somebody and them going, well, if you're just particles in motion, what makes something right and wrong? I got sick of it. I really did. Over and over and over again. Over and over again. Yeah, I guess I'm particles in motion. I was raised in a society that taught me right from wrong, along with my parents. Had I been raised in a different society, like an ancient Aztec society, I'd have a different set of moralities, a different set of rules, and I'd probably be sacrificing people up on a temple and rolling their heads down the bottom of it because that would be cool, right? So yeah, I'm just a particle in motion, and my morals are somewhat objective. But in order to get through society, we have learned, humans evolved this cultural rights and wrongs. We really do. Otherwise, how would any society get by that isn't Christian? How could you? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Most of Japanese people are not Christian, and yet somehow they get along just fine. There's not like the purge going on over in Japan every day. Is there? Christians, really? Is that what happens without your religion there to impose this bullshit on other people? Now, see, here's one of the things. I can already hear the Christians in the chat go on. Anyway, so back to the person. That's why I don't take calls. I get tired of the same fucking conversations over and over and over again. And part of the deal, and even still, I still do the same shit over and over. But part of the deal is I'm not really here to defend evolution. It's not my job. I'm not a biologist, really. I mean, technically. I'm not here to defend abiogenesis. I'm not here to defend the beginning of the universe, the Big Bang. I'm not here to do those things. I do them because it's fun. That's not my purpose here, though. My purpose is not here to take calls and let Christians haggle me, whatever, just argue with me over and over again about the same idiotic bullshit while I'm sitting here trying to defend why the things that are obvious and real are obvious and real. Why should I spend my time taking calls, explaining to people over to listen, man, and I do it briefly anyway, at least on the show, billions of pieces of evidence in museums all over the world that prove evolution. Millions of examples of things in change right now, like different forms, like the eyeball. The eyeball isn't just one thing. We've got different forms of the eyeball evolved through all of that, and you don't believe it. And I have to go through it over and over. And I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to defend evolution. If you're too stupid to go and just go look. Wait, Bible said man come from dirt. Don't believe man come fully formed from dirt. So you don't believe that biological chemicals such as proteins or whatever can come together over time billions of years ago. Oh, did we lose my internet? Son of a bitch. I was fixing to be on a rant. Am I still here? Sorry, guys. I don't know what it is this morning. I'm just here. Okay, so billions of years we've got of evidence. We've got just so much evidence going all the way back to like the very first single cell life forms and such. And even before that, I guess, where it was just minor proteins or whatever. I'm not that kind of scientist. I'm not a scientist. I'm just telling you, we got it all. Go look. You don't have to trust me. Don't believe me. I'm just some jackass on the internet. Go look. We've got all that science that shows that man did not just magically pop into existence. However, you've got a book that says man did exactly that, just popped into existence. God created man out of dirt and just bam. You say, how can life come from not life, while defending a position where life literally does come from life, non-life, but it does so through magical means rather than literal scientific means. Do you see the difference? God creature goes, poop, poop, dirt, man. Or science, which went like, well, the universe was here 12 billion years. Then our solar system was formed about 4 billion years ago. About 3.7 billion years back in the past, we find the first signs, or first evidence of life on the planet, really, really tiny life. And over the next 3 billion years, it pretty much it was just single cell life. And then over the last 750 to 100 million years, or to be 750 to a billion years, the life with backbones came and shit happened. We got all that evidence. But no. Books say man from dirt must from dirt. Right? So, I really, that's kind of the deal. I get tired of the conversations and having the same fucking conversation over and over and over and over again with these people. And again, that's not really why I'm here, though. I mean, I have done it. It's all right. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to tell you how stupid your religion is, how dangerous it is, how idiotic it is, how foolish it is, how foolish you are for believing it, how you should be ashamed of yourself for openly. If you clasp your hands in prayer in public, you should feel shame. Heat should come upon your body, or you should start kind of sweating because that's the story. You should feel shame for doing that. You really should. It's stupid. And I don't even mean from the idiotic notion of, oh, a man who lives everywhere in space and watches over me. I mean, I'm not even talking about that aspect. We're talking about the entirety of Christianity is ridiculous. All of it. Stem to stern, top to bottom, front to back. Jesus gave himself for you. I'm not going to do this fucking again. He didn't give yourself for you. It wasn't a sacrifice. Blah, 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 blah. Why would God creature need a blood sacrifice for you? It couldn't just forgive you. Blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on and on. And see, so I'm not really here to defend religion. I'm here, or to science. I'm here to expose your religion for what a horror it is, for how disgusting it is, for the harmful nature that it brings, the hurtful things it puts on a society. One of the first things, anytime, when you become a Christian, Christianity is about division and separation. Is it not? Now you're going to go, no, Christianity is about love and the family, peace, and bringing harmony to the world. Well, actually, no, right? Jesus said, I came to bring division, specifically to bring division. I come to bring a sword. I come to bring strife between the household, where 3 of the family will be against 2 of the family. That's Jesus right there. That's harmful on society. Every aspect is harmful on society. So, we've talked about what happens anytime Christians get into power. Look what happened as soon as Christians got into power here in the United States again. Went right after Roe versus Wade so they could force their bullshit on all the women in the country. No matter what, because of the babies, right? Because of the babies. They don't really give a fuck about that. They'll gladly, remember, if you're new here, there was that lady on the phone who was calling around. She even at one point, and not always, she had a recording of a crying baby in the background, and she would call these Christian groups, church to church to church. It started local. It's just her, like a little creator, and then it just blew up on the internet, where she was calling churches all across the country. She says, I'm hungry, I'm sorry, I'm poor, just things have not gone right. I've got a baby, she's hungry, she's, we really need some help. Can you help us? And I mean, I ain't lying. Most of the time, we're talking like 97% of the time. Okay. They would tell her no. No, we don't. Our church doesn't do that kind of work, or we're not set up for that kind of hell. There were those kind of answers, but oftentimes, and listen, don't listen to me. Go look it up. Go watch her yourself. Go watch. But oftentimes it was very little. Are you a member of our church? I'm sorry, man. We can't help you if you're not a member of our church. We reserve those services for our own members and stuff like that. Go become a Christian. So right now you're not a Christian. Just be not a Christian. Go tomorrow and become a Christian. So you open up the phone book and you go, which one do you want to be? Just pick one, right? It doesn't matter. Dartboard. Boop. I'm a Methodist. So then you decide you're a Methodist and you go down to your Methodist church. And the first thing that happens when you get there is you're a Methodist. Those are not us. We are us. It's all about separation, division. That's why, we got 40,000 different denominations of Christianity. And all of it is kind of based on this notion of Jesus being sweet and loving and merciful and kind, but God creature is none of those things. None of those things. Not wise, not loving, not merciful, none of those things. Jesus's purpose is a doorman. If you believe in Jesus, he'll let you in the door. Give him the right card, like slip him a 5 at the door, and he'll let you into there's like two parts of the afterlife, right? There's the bumping bar up top where you got the cool shit going on, and you've got the evil pit of fire below where you got horrible shit going on. Interestingly enough, the same creature runs both of those places. And what Jesus does is he gets determined which place you go to. That's it. Jesus, that's his purpose. Jesus' entire thing is, do you believe in me and go to the good, loving sort of God creature in heaven? Or do you go, okay, he actually doesn't call it a loving God. He thinks it's, do you go up there? Or do you not believe in me and get sent down to the evil God creature down in hell and burn for eternity? Which do you prefer? That's Jesus. That's Jesus doing that right there. That's all he does. That's his whole sole purpose, is to determine which way you go, up or down, right? Either way, you face the God creature when you get wherever you're going. Now, you think Satan is in the pits of fire, blood. No, actually, Satan is controlling the earth, remember? Remember? God is in charge of hell. That's his prison where he sent Satan and the angels that went with him. But he gave power and dominion over the earth. Did he not? Interesting. Isn't that weird? So these things, these notions that Christianity, that some now I will say to the individual who was asking the question at the beginning, there are atheists who are here in this verse, and their purpose is to take calls and to argue with Christians to tell them the same thing over and over and over again. Here's one. Let's do this. Okay, so you're a Christian. Christ, there's power through Christ. Through prayer, there's power. Ask through me. Ask anything through the Father, of the Father, through my name, and it will be given or done. I mean, it's very specific, very, very specific. And yet, there doesn't seem to be any power there. All the high schools that are Christian high schools, they don't win every game. There's no power there, despite all those Christians praying in Jesus' name to the Father, as instructed, for them to win that football game. But they don't win this. Why is it they don't win the championships? Is there not something out there anywhere that a Christian can do that a non-Christian cannot do? And I get tired of having that same fucking conversation over and over and over and over again. Anyway, no, in fact, there's nothing that a Christian can do that a non-Christian can't do. So let's see. Rart, art, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang, ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Evidence, possible. Good morning, Sandune. Sandune, it's how you pray. I'm not really sure what's going on with you. I just kind of picking up here on the chat this morning. Patty, this is like anti-church. In a way it is. Really, in a way it is. You want to talk about something? You want to get Pastor Chris getting up on this thing? We talk about, I really got some examples of how our Christian friends don't have any understanding about what they worship. They have no idea what they worship. As exampled by what I mentioned earlier, they think there's this wise and loving God up there. He's sitting there and he's loving you and he's hoping you make the right decision because he loves you and he's concerned about you and he doesn't want you to make the wrong decision because then he's going to have to burn you in a pit of fire for all eternity. But he loves you. And he's kind and he's forgiving. And he's wise, merciful, thoughtful. This is what they think about their God. And they're wrong on every point, at every point, every point. Remember, he's just a doorman between heaven and hell, the God creature you face from the Old Testament. So go look at the Old Testament and see if you can find any wisdom or love or patience or mercy or kindness. Go see if you can find any of those things in the God creature. Now, I know you're going, oh, Jesus is the new covenant. Well, remember, everything Jesus says is the beginning of a sentence. Okay? It's the beginning of a sentence. Worship the Father through me, and you will be saved. That's the beginning of the sentence. The rest of the sentence goes, from my Father who's going to destroy you in hell if you don't do what I say, or eternity and damnation, whatever, however you think about it, Christian. So let's talk about it. Let's go. All right, so Jesus is up on the Sermon on the Mount. He's like, love thy neighbor. Or what? Or what? Everything Jesus says, that's just the first part of a sentence. The rest of it is, or you're going to face eternal damnation. That's really what he says. That's the whole point. If you don't do what I say, you're fucking burned forever. Every sentence. Is do what I say, or you're going to face the evil God monster. Oh, yes, love and peace. I come to bring peace on earth. They say that. He never said that, by the way. But no, he's not about that. It's all hateful and angry and disgusting. And they have no idea about it. They think Jesus now. Let's talk about Jesus, meek and mild, the Lamb. They love their Jesus. Christians, are you out there? You loving your Jesus today? So many of them love their Jesus. But as we've discovered here on the show over just the past few months, Jesus is quite horrific. Horrific. We've got a number of ways Jesus is horrific. One is about dividing families and telling them, if you don't worship the same people I worship, you're not my family. These are my family. We've got Jesus telling you that if you have seen a woman and lusted after her with your eye, pluck it out. Why did he say that? Do you remember his point for that? Remember I was telling you about he's a doorman, right? Between the God creature. He's going to explain to you the importance and value of not pissing off the God creature. This is Jesus saying. Jesus says, because it is better for you to pluck out your eye and go through life without an eye than it is for you to spend an eternity in hell. Right? Christians? Have you any Christians here got all your eyes? How many Christians here are one-eyed Christians because you plucked out your eye? Can you name me one of them? Anybody? Raise a hand. Let me see the one-eyed Christians out there. Yeah. Yeah. And then there's also the things where he told people, don't look for tomorrow. Don't throw away everything you've got. It's coming today. Remember those kinds of words, the apocalyptic preacher telling people, sell everything they have. Don't think about tomorrow. Think about today. I got lots of good stuff. Don't worry. I get to the end. And then there's like the time that Jesus told the guy, he's like, the guy's like, Jesus, man, I really think what you're doing is great. I want to follow you. I love your word. Let me just stop over here for a moment and bury my father. And what did Jesus tell him? Jesus, of course, used the wisdom and mercy of God. He said, of course, my son, take a moment, go bury your father, go with your family. Oh, wait, fuck, that's not what he said. No, he's like, the dead will bury the dead. The dead will bury themselves. You cannot go with them. You need to go with me now. You can't go bury your father. The dead will bury themselves. In the same chapter, another man says, Jesus, I want to worship you, and I want to follow you, and I want to listen to your word. But before I do that, I just want to say goodbye to my family. And Jesus, of course, naturally says, my son, go say bye to your family. Go explain to them what's going on and where your heart is and what's... Oh, fuck. That's not right. No, it's not right, is it? It's not right, is it? He told him, no, don't. You cannot go say bye to your family. If you want to go with me, you better go with me now. That's the kind of commitment I want. Oh, Jesus. Telling a man he cannot go tell his own family. It's like, can you imagine? Christians, listen. Jesus Christ, the Jesus that you know was the Jim Jones of his day. Think about it. Fascinating. Anyway, moving on. And then we've also got the things about how Jesus doesn't hurt anybody, turn the other cheek, and all that business, unless, of course, it's time for Jesus to tell you to beat your slaves. In that case, Mark chapter 13, or Luke 13? I think it's Luke 13. In that case, you're supposed to beat the slave that knows he did wrong and did wrong on purpose with many blows. But the slave who did not know he was doing wrong, the innocent man, slave person, beat that person with few blows. Jesus telling you to beat somebody. Period. Jesus demonstrating, telling someone to beat their slaves rather than using what? Forgiveness, love, mercy. I'm not done yet. Yeah. This is also the same Jesus is going to come back, right? In Revelation as the Lamb. The Lamb and his angels, right? Christians out there, oh yes, Jesus is going to come back in Revelation. The Lamb is going to come back. What's the Lamb going to do, Christians? This is the part where a Christian can, with glee in their heart and a glimmer in their eye, can describe the murder of billions of people with the happiness of a child with a lollipop. The Lord is just going to come back and he's going to slay all the wicked and he's going to murder all the bad people and the sinful people. We're all going to go to heaven and be in heaven forever and live forever in a golden palace. Right? Is that not right? But what happens? I mean, we just skipped right over Jesus is going to come and kill all the wicked, but what does that mean? What does it mean, my Christian friends, when you say that? Your Jesus Christ is going to come back and murder billions of people, he and his angels. They're going to come murder billions of people. And according to the chapter, even throw them in a furnace. They're going to separate out the people who do not worship the way they want to. And I'm going to use a metaphor here. Let me use this metaphor. And they're going to put them on trains. And they're going to send them off to these furnaces, right? And they're going to burn them. Jesus Christ is going to burn people in a furnace, and he tells you so himself. So we've gone through this whole thing about Jesus telling you to lose an eye, and Jesus doing all these other things about kind of some of the horrific nature. Oh my goodness, were you a mother of a sick and dying daughter who didn't happen to be a Jewish person? Oh no, you're not Jewish. You are a dog. I can't help you because helping you, since you're not one of my people, this is racism by Jesus, since you're not one of my people, I can't help you, because to do so would be like throwing the food meant for the dogs or meant for the children out to the dogs. So helping you, a foreigner, a person not of my people, would be like throwing the food meant for the children out to the dogs. Jesus Christ is saying that. Now, if you'll go read that scripture, he did acquiesce and heal her, but only after she admitted being a dog. After she uses her own, she goes, well, my Lord, or whatever, she goes, don't the dogs get the scraps from the children's table? And he's like, you know what, since you've humbled yourself before me in this way, I'm going to go ahead and heal your daughter. That's Jesus. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. And it's not really that I just had to demonstrate it. I don't have to do it. I just tell you, you know the story. You do know the story, right? You know the story. You know where Jesus is. You're like, where does Jesus say he's going to come back and kill everybody? I didn't even see it in the chat. I'll tell you. There's two different places. First of all, Christians, if you're bucking under that already, first of all, know this, that you already know when Jesus is going to come back and murder billions of people. You already know it. It says so in Revelation. The entire purpose of Revelation is that, right? It's essentially genocide, the cleansing of the earth of all the rapists and murderers and wait, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. It's all the bank robbers and all the people who rob grave. No, shit, that's not it. It's all the pedos. It's all the pedos and people who hurt. No, son of a bitch. That's not the ones they're going to come back and murder. They're going to come back and murder everyone who simply doesn't believe in their God, in the God creature. That's the only thing required for them to be murdered by your Jesus creature. Billions of people. They are wicked and sinful, and the only wicked and sinful thing required is lack of belief. That's the only requirement, lack of belief. And your Jesus creature is going to come back and murder billions of people, and you're just gleefully, happily celebrating it, getting ready. Right? When someone chooses to reject God, God then closes their eyes and minds. That's just ignorant. The truth is revealed in a way that requires one to seek it. You must be humble and admit you don't know why you're here. You're literally, Lord have mercy, saying like you have to make yourself stupid to believe this is what you're saying. That's what you're saying. You have to be willing to make yourself stupid and be willing to just believe stupid shit. And if you can bow down before the Lord and believe all that stupid shit, is that not what you're saying? Please reread what you said again. The truth is revealed in a way that requires one to seek it. Really? Really? Isn't that interesting? Oh, I got another thing about Jesus. Jesus came to love us all, right? Jesus came, he's going to do evil, stupid shit. Good morning, Prince Vegeta. Remember, Jesus came to save the world. He loved the God, so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Child sacrifice. But do you remember the parables? What were the parables about? The parables was Jesus talking in code, right? So the non-believers wouldn't understand, remember? That's why. Jesus is essentially teaching in secret, so the non-believers wouldn't hear the message. Why? He tells you why. Yeah. Jesus speaks in parables because if the people over there hear his message, they will be turned and be saved. Work that out in your head. Work it out in your mind. Jesus speaks allegedly in parables because the wicked that he's here to save, that he's here to communicate with, that he's here doing miracles for, that he's sitting with the whores and the whatever, the prostitutes or whatever you want to do. He's going down and sitting with that's his whole purpose, isn't it? And yet, it's just one of those things, man. You have to intentionally make yourself dumb to believe this stuff. And they want you to. They really do. The fool won't believe it. The fool does not understand, right? That's what they tell you. Why do they tell you that? Because they are trying to convince you to believe some of the stupidest, most ignorant bullshit. And once they've finally convinced you to use enough faith to smooth over the questions of why this doesn't make sense, but you've got other people on the outside that are going to start digging at that faith going, dude, that ain't right. What the fuck's wrong with you? That's not right thinking. You know what you tell your followers who you know what you're teaching is bullshit, or at least you may not know, you may just truly believe, but you tell them that those people over there aren't going to, they're fools. They're not going to understand. They won't understand because they can't hear the word of God. They refuse to hear the word of God. Really, that's just saying essentially that there's people out there that aren't going to buy the bullshit. That's it. And the ones who don't buy the bullshit, well, ignore them because they haven't heard the true word of God. That's the deal, man. Yeah. So faith. Yeah, faith. The whole notion that if you don't believe in God and believe in these things, these ridiculous stories Ridiculous fucking story. They're just stupid stories. Stupid. If you don't believe in them and believe in this stuff, then you're bad. If you can't separate your logic and reason out and just accept whatever these people want you to believe, remember that part of it. Remember that, because it doesn't really matter what. I can say whether Jesus rose or Jesus whatever. It doesn't really matter. They want you. If you could accept that and set aside your reason and just be as dumb as they want you to be, that's a virtue. Being dumb, being gullible, being foolish is a virtue. To a person in a scam looking for people who can believe anything that they'll want to throw at them and who'll give them their tithes and their goats or what. Yeah, it's a scam. Total scam. And that whole faith thing, really, here's the deal. Is faith, I just came up with this. It's like a stroke of genius. Faith could almost be like an anti-IQ test. I'm digging it. I'm feeling it coming across my brain right now. Faith, if you could test your faith, the more faith you have, the lower your IQ almost certainly is. Isn't that interesting? It's funny that Chris should say that, huh? The anti-IQ test, because we had the video on here where we had Keenan Tatum, the psychologist, talk about how non-theists are strikingly, by just a huge number, more likely to be more intelligent than theists. If you're a theist, it's, you know what, let me just play it for you. I'm going to play it for you, and then, because we didn't know, I'll let you Christians bristle at how dumb you are. It's not my fault. Don't be mad at me. I'm just pointing it out. I'm not the one that believes this shit. Damn it, my internet go down again? Oh, no, it's still there. All right, it's there for now. All right, so yeah. You think you're smart, of course, but you're not. That's sad. It's funny how the people who you think you're smart, you think you know what's right, but you discard scientists, you discard people who actually study those things for a living. You don't like what they have to say. And half your mantra is fucking lean not on your own understanding. I mean, mantra when it comes to, believing things. Lean not on your own understanding, right, my friends? Remember, don't believe what these other people tell you. Believe what the pastor tells you, the priest tells you. Lean not on your own understanding. Why, Christians? Why don't they want you to lean on your own understanding? Maybe Chris is right. Let's see if I can find that video for you that shows you scientifically speaking. Don't listen to me. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy who has a hard-on for scientists. Not this scientist necessarily, Keenan. Fear not, my friend. Hold on a second. Go. Boom, boom, boom. Boop.
Are there actually?
So, hold on. Un moment, s'il vous plaît. I'm going to play this for you. I love playing this. This gives me the tingles. Christians come in here. We're not smarter. We're smarter than we're smart. You're not smart. We're smart. And they're like, well, give us the proof that your atheists are, on average, more intelligent. Do you really want the proof? Or are you lying? Or do you lie like a dog? And that's really kind of putting, dogs don't lie. Dogs are not liars. Dogs, I don't know why dogs got a bad reputation like being lying like a dog, because dogs don't lie. They have open, innocent hearts. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share this thing with you, my ignorant Christian friends. Un moment, s'il vous plaît. Add the scene one and then highlight. Okay, let's listen to this guy as he speaks words. These words are meant for you.
Are there actually intelligence differences between religious people and non-religious people? And more interestingly, why? My name is Keegan, and I talk about the psychology of politics. And I guess religion for right now. A meta-analysis of 63 prior studies, including data from 137 countries and all 50 US states. Religious people are less intelligent, and the theorized reasons as to why are: number one, intelligent people are less conforming. Number two, intelligent people tend to think more analytically, as opposed to more intuitive, gut-feeling style thinking. And the research shows that analytical thinking undermines religious belief. And number 3, this is the most interesting one. What religion provides is also provided by higher intelligence. For example, religion helps you cope with fear of death, fear of the unknown, fear of uncertainty, and fear of the chaos and randomness of the world. Intelligence also reduces these fears. Religion provides a blueprint on how to act and helps with self-discipline. Well, intelligence is also associated with self-regulation and self-control abilities. Religion can be self-enhancing, aka giving people a feeling of self-worth. Intelligence does this as well. Here's another interesting thing. The data clearly shows that intelligence matters more than education, with an effect size 3 times larger. By the way, how strong was the correlation between lower intelligence and religiosity? In order to nullify these results, there would have to be over 10,000 new studies showing zero correlation between intelligence and religiosity. Are there actually intelligence differences between...
Yay! So yes, there are, and be proud of your lack of intelligence. That means your faith is strong. Remember, the less intelligent you are, the more likely they are to, and it's only even part of it, really. Isn't that only part of it? Here's the deal. What they do is they wait until you're down. They're waiting until your life is in a really shitty place. And then they swoop in. They're like, well, Jesus, see, it's better. They might help you out with a bill or two and make things better for you. That even helps sell the thing. And the less intelligent you are, the more likely you are to fall for it. That's a good example. Or to continue falling for it. Yeah. So, a theist, technically. Prince Vegeta says in Africa, they got Christians eating grass. I've seen that before. Where they've got them. I've seen them. Okay. There's a problem over in Africa in that there are these, I don't want to use the word third world country, but that's kind of all we kind of got to fit it right now, that everybody kind of understands. And that their Christianity is not really connected necessarily, if you will, so much to regular Christianity. There's a lot of intertwined voodoo kind of, I don't want to say voodoo either, because that's not a good word either, but natural African magic, folk magic kind of stuff. They got a lot of things going on over there. Like, don't be an albino. They could cut you up and eat you for being an albino. It's just that they got different things. And then it's all wrapped up in some are wrapped up in Christianity, some are not. It's just interesting. To be honest, it is interesting to see the differences in the religion. You'd think with their objective point of morality, it wouldn't be so different. It would be, but anyway. GeoSam, good morning, GeoSam. Yes, the vulnerable are the target of most religions. That's right. They love getting you when you're down. When you're back up, all of a sudden now you're a regular paying customer every week. Third world Pax Headroom, that's an interesting way. Here's the deal. We have first world countries, which is the United States, Europe. We have second world countries. Which ones are those? Those are China and Russia. Essentially, it's I don't want to say a racist thing, but it's a political divide is the difference between a first and second world country. And a third world country is just all of them that aren't that. Aren't of them that aren't big enough to be a first world. So I guess in a way you're right. It's the best descriptor we have. I saw something. We got a new subscriber. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Jesus Slaves, says Roscoe the Rose. I really think that's great. Thank you for that. That's a good point. Do I know about Dharma? Not yet, but I could. I'm not against learning. I like learning new stuff about other religions too. Praise the flying spaghetti monster. You're awesome. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Here we've got Max Mackle says the Euphrates River is almost empty, and put a point, number 1. I think that's supposed to be an exclamation point. So here's what I want to say. I understand the significance of this to you. Let me just do this. Euphrates. I just want to mention, though, that it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, What happens, Mac, if the Euphrates River actually does dry up, or whatever, according to your prophecy, and nothing happens? I mean, rivers dry up. It does happen. We actually, in our world, have a phenomenon known as global climate change that is brought about by human interaction. So we've actually knowingly been increasing the overall temperature of our planet for decades now. It's not a surprise at all that we're going to have heat blooms and huge tornadoes, hurricane seasons, and huge El Niños, and rivers drying up. Let's see. Let's go here. I want to see something. Because there's other things that are supposed to happen too. And part of the deal is because with again, this is part of the Christian nationalism and Christian things. Maybe you don't realize what you're asking for when you're calling for the rapture and the end of times. Maybe, I mean, I like to think there are good people out there that are Christians, a lot of good Christians out there. And I don't want to think that they are so selfish and so ugly and so disgusting on the inside that they would run, not walk, towards a palace, knowing that the only reason why they get to go into that palace is because other people are thrown into a furnace. But they're gleeful and happy knowing, yes, I can't wait for the end so I can go get my palace in heaven and live in one of the rooms that Jesus promised. I can look out the window and watch Jesus down there murdering all those children and women on the earth over the next 7 years as they kill billions of people. Do you really? I mean, I don't think Christians really think that. Do they really think that way? Do you even see us as people, though? That's, I guess, a question. I remember whenever I was a Christian. I hope you guys can. I hope I make sure sometimes. I remember whenever I was a Christian. I don't remember what I was saying. New Fallout. Well, when I was a Christian, I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. I got it now. How did I do that? I remember something. It's weird. Anyway, when I was a Christian, I remember I was a boy, probably like 11 or 12 years old. And this I'm going to tell you guys a thought experience that kind of bothered me. And that was it. I remember being a little kid, and my dad was sort of religious. My mom wasn't so much. But my dad was sort of religious, so he'd read the Bible to us. And, this whole notion that someday in the end I might be called as a warrior for God to come back as one of Jesus's warriors and slay, in the war against evil, slay the demons and the wicked and the sinful and the foul and the disgusting. I remember just, for whatever, I don't know why, but I always had this vision of killing like demons. Right. I mean, am I the only one that whenever you think Revelation, you're going to come back and fight, this war is going to be against demons? But it's not. And it was when I realized that what is a wicked person that is going to be destroyed in Revelations is not a demon. My little brain was like, wait a second. So I'm not going to be killing demons. I'm going to be killing people. And their one offense, they're not a demon. They just don't believe in God. So I'm going to be murdering people. Because. And, it's holy, obviously, because Jesus is doing it. Jesus is there. Jesus is the one doing it. Jesus, maybe you'll be one of Jesus's angels who is then helping him load the evil and wicked into furnaces like Hitler. Maybe that would be you. Let's see. Praise the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Got that one. Story time. Got that one. You afraid? Let me just check. I want to check this out. Where did it go? Oh, shit. That's the wrong one. Where'd it go? I'm old. I shouldn't be allowed near a computer. I just break shit. So I don't really understand what the significance of the Euphrates going dry is, but I don't really think it matters. I think the rivers go dry, and if this one doesn't go dry, I'd really like to see it happen soon. Oh yeah, let's get this show over with. How many of you Christians are out there going, oh, it's going to dry up? And see, there's these Christian Zionists. See, there's a whole, this Christianity is complicated. That objective morality coming from a singular place sure seems to have a whole bunch of different people who can't get their shit together. Anyway, not all Christians obviously believe this. So, oh yeah, there was law. When someone chooses to reject God then close. Oh yeah, it's just all idiotic. I don't know why I read it again. Hurt my brain. I got dumber reading it the second time. Ace Trades, good morning. Hypatia Stanhope, Larry the Tapeworm, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Kainan, you're awesome. Thank you for being here. Mankind's men, you're about to find out the hard way when you see the demons they call aliens. You know what? I gotta say, you Christians come in here and call me a demon. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times Christians have come in here and called me a demon. If an alien to you is a demon, that, in fact, would actually be a selling point if you're a Christian. If there is somebody or a group of people that Christians don't like or consider demons, I might wonder if those people are probably okay. Yeah. Christians are the ones that like to immediately go into hurting other people. So usually somebody they don't like is somebody trying to stop them from hurting other people. Isn't that fascinating? But I'm a demon. That's right, I'm a demon. Yep. And that's one of the interesting things, like demon, I would welcome them. Aliens, I would absolutely welcome them. You know, the whole deal is like aliens are going to show up, dude. Let's check this out. Aliens are going to pop in one day and they're going to go, 2 + 2 is 4. 4 + 4 is 8. If you take this times this, it comes to this. And we will be able to communicate with them on a universal level, on a universal language, because we have mathematics to which we can begin the beginnings of communication, because it is universal. It's a singular voice. That's one example, just one example, where the universe demonstrates that it could, if you wanted to, if there was a God creature out there, it could communicate in a singular, understandable way. But you know what won't happen when the aliens get here? They're not going to walk off the ship and ask us if we've heard about their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. They're not. Nope. Bet you my left nut they're not going to do. No, they might come. It's possible that they may be atheists of some kind. They might believe in Xenu or some other, I don't know, not really Xenu, you know what I mean? Some other god of their own. It'll have different rituals and rules. Hell, even on our own planet, even within their own religion, even within the sects of their own religion, they can't agree on shit. So it would be kind of ridiculous to think that an alien species would contact us and be Christians. Then you'd have to split that hair. Well, what kind of Christian are you? Right? So I just don't think that's absolutely never going to happen. However, if we did meet an alien race and they did have a God structure, the Christians or theists would almost certainly try to overlap and say this God represents that. They've done it before in the past, where the two cultures meet and they overlap one God over the other. Go look it up. It happens. Yes, that's more likely what would happen, but it would not be the same. It wouldn't be the same. But in the little alien school, 2 + 2 is 4. And that is because all this God stuff is just made up. It's made up and it's a reflection on the culture that it comes from. That's all of it. All of it is just made up. And that's why it's all different. That's why you have so many different Christian sects, so many different Muslim groups, so many different, all these religions, so many. Why? If there were truly a singular God with one powerful voice, we would absolutely know it. Mathematics demonstrates that. And I really have to say, you've got a God creature who's created the entire universe, trillions of galaxies, an uncountable number of planets and all that business. And this God creature has two choices. Work with me here. Let's just pretend it has two choices. it can either communicate with mankind in an immutable, understandable way that everybody on the planet could understand, no matter what age, no matter what language, no matter what race, they could understand it. Or it would, because this is important shit, people. This is important shit. We're talking about our souls tormented consciously forever for an eternity. So this is important shit. So you would think a God creature capable of that would do that. Would you maybe even like a central like rock somewhere on Earth, and you went to the rock and you asked it questions again. But no, it doesn't do that. There's nothing. Your God creature, if you're a Christian, allegedly spoke through people, even admittedly so, right? It didn't write any of its own books. It inspired them to write them. It spoke through people in an ancient language, in a faraway place, in a hostile, misogynistic, bloody, dangerous, violent culture. I mean, compared, relatively speaking, to the cultures of the day, even. Right? You remember when Abraham was going up and he was going to sacrifice his son, and then they happened to find a lamb? Why was Abraham going to sacrifice his son? Why did it not seem weird to Abraham? I don't remember Abraham ever going, man, that's kind of weird that you would ask me to do that. Because God creature did ask them to do that. Yeah. I wonder if the alien God creature also likes child sacrifices. So wait a second. All right, now those of you who disagree, work on this in your brain for just a second. So Abraham was going to sacrifice his son. God creature stops him, sends an angel to stop him, and says, because you were going to do that, you have demonstrated your faith. That tells you that they like child sacrifice. If you're faithful enough, you will sacrifice your children to God creature. The story of Abraham tells you that right there. Do you not believe me? God loves child sacrifice. You guys pretend to care about the babies and abortion. God creatures killed millions of children horrifically. God creature, either himself or sent people to do it, sent angels to murder babies, and you care about abortion. I bet my atheist friends, you've heard all these stories. The first Christian that in the chat says that the God creature doesn't murder babies, like throw a thumbs up, or maybe just point out, the story of Exodus when God creature kills the firstborn of all of Egypt. Remember? That's just one example of God creature murdering babies. One example. We've also got God creature telling his people to go murder pregnant women. Are you fun, Christians, or what? You don't even know that, do you? How many of you don't know that? How many of you think, oh, Moses was just a cool guy? He rode like in a thing and he was caught in a basket as a baby and all this other stuff, but you don't know that he murdered a man personally and that he led an army that committed a genocide against entire other peoples, kept their virgin girls for sex slaves, and murdered pregnant women. Moses did that. Do you have a loved one who's on their deathbed, but they've yet to give themselves up to the Lord?
Are you sure you don't want to come to Jesus?
No.
This is your final chance.
No. Worried they're headed to the fiery pits of hell.
Your very last chance.
No. I've been wicked and sinful. I deserve to burn in the hot place.
As you wish. Farewell, my heathen husband.
Farewell, my... Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of post-mortem baptismal kits. No more worries about being miserable alone forever. Be a good Christian and share that eternal pain and suffering with the ones you love. I'm in hell. Not as hot as I thought it'd be. Kind of feels like Houston minus the humidity. Hello. My favorite drink crafted to perfection. Ooh, and some dank ass weed.
I can't bear to be down on my face chanting, holy, holy, holy is the Lord, every day, all day, for all eternity, by myself.
Wow, is that George Carlin? And Alan Turing, look at that. Carl say, oh, I am so honored. You've been my hero since I was a kid. Neil deGrasse Tyson, what are you doing here? Oh, I get it. I get it. Schrodinger's heathen. Very cute, you. Very cute. That's fantastic. Oh, what is that? What is? It's holy water. Oh, it burns. No, this isn't where I want to be. Pabst Blue Ribbon and a Marlboro? No! Father Flanagan's post-mortem baptismal kit. Dead kid tested, Mother Teresa approved. Is that the Pope and John Paul? Jim Jones and Jimmy Swaggart, huh? I can see that coming. Neil deGrasse, what are you doing? Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord.
Thanks, Father Flanagan.
Damn them to an eternity in heaven for only $59.99. They wouldn't appreciate it, but you'll feel better, and that's the point, isn't it? Get yours now. Your heathen loved one's time is running out. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. This is some bullshit. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. All right, we are back. I want to mention here, let me talk about that. Let's go here. Moses, Wokenstoke says Moses is the myth, as is the Exodus, never happened. And, that's true. It never happened. Even Israeli archaeology will tell you it never happened. The sad, maybe, and disgusting part is that, considering it never happened, they wrote and chose to believe as a religious book a story about a man committing murder and atrocities in the name of their God. It's a reflection on how hideous their God is, and that they know it and are willing to continue. It's like not even a bump in the road. They don't notice that this is hideous and disgusting based on all the other things that are hideous and disgusting as well. The Casual Realist, good morning, the Casual Realist. Thank you for joining us this morning, and thank you for being a channel member for 13 months, I believe it said. 14 months. I almost robbed you of a month. Thank you very much. I appreciate your dedication. I consider you probably should need therapy at this point. But thank you. Ponce says those are called punishments, not good, cheerful doings. Here's the deal, though. If we're talking, I'm almost certain I don't know that we're talking about the same thing. But if we are, anything that is a punishment by God, like the time where God frees people from Egypt and they made him mad because they weren't worshiping the way he wanted them to, so he forced them to live in the desert for 40 years until they all died off. These are kind of harsh punishments, man. I mean, it's not the kind of punishment. It's like, this is kind of like you going here, this is what the way your God creature, or if the God creature works. My son comes in and my son says, Dad, I broke the neighbor's window. And I go, man, that sucks, dude. How'd you do it? How do we not do it again? All right, cool. Let's go fix the neighbor's window and pay for the neighbor's window. That's kind of my way to do it. Your way, according to your God creature, by example throughout the Old Testament, my son comes in the room and my son tells me he's done wrong, and now I burn him in a pit of fire forever. Or I teach my son wrong ways and bad laws, and then whenever he gets older and he has a child, I have him sacrifice his child to me. Ezekiel 22. Is that moral by you? Or maybe so my son says he broke out the window, and now at this point I should now just beat him until the flesh is flayed off his. See what I mean? I mean, God doesn't do, you notice those punishments? Think about it. Anytime God doles out a punishment, he could have doled out wisdom and love, but chose punishment. Look what dealing out punishment goddess. A world fucked up with everybody hurt and mean and mad and blah and blah and blah and blah. What if your God creature had actually gone around and shown love to people, mercy to people? Did any of that happen? Any mercy from your God creature? No? Can you think of any time? Well, I had one Christian say the mercy was that the God creature is giving you the opportunity to repent now. That's the merciful part, because if it weren't for his mercy in that function, he would just send it straight to hell. I'm like, I don't know whether that's really merciful or not. But I mean, it kind of reflects and tells me, it's like, if those are adequate punishments, if Christians believe in those kind of punishments, I mean, it's just scary dangerous. The level of punishment does not equate the crime in Christianity. It just doesn't. And a lot of Christians kind of glee in that, really. I don't know why. The whole, you're blaspheming against the Lord, so I can't wait for you to burn in hell. Well, wait a second. I, a mere mortal human, have figured words together in a fashion so it insults your God creature's paper-thin feelings. And because I, tiny little creature who squeaked out a few words that made your God creature feel bad or feel sad about itself, it's going to burn me in a pit of fire forever and ever and ever. Conscious torment forever. Whether you're a Christian and you actually listen to the words of Jesus, or whether you're a Christian and you go, well, hell's not really a bad place. It's just somewhere without God. Either way. Even the ones that say that, they still accept that being without God is horrific. It's horrible. At least here, even if you don't accept God, you're with God is with you always. There's no God. Eternal, conscious, spiritual torment for the slightest of crimes. Merciful, loving, kind, interesting.
Flanagan!
Yes, sir. Very disturbing, I know.
Fetch me Father Flanagan.
Your Highness.
You are in the presence of His Holiness, the Puppius Maximus, guardian of the sacred fire hydrant, defender of the holy tennis ball, and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poopsalop the Fifth.
Your popedom. I heard you have a bone to pick with me.
Condoms, Father Flanagan?
No, thank you. I've got plenty.
That's what I mean. Why are you selling condoms?
Oh, you mean our Pharaoh Sombrero line of condoms? Understood.
You know how we feel about those around here.
Well, they're not to be used by the Catholics, of course.
Not for Catholics?
No, they're part of our Sinner Gonna Sin lack of faith outreach program.
A sinner gonna what?
It's like getting the tithe, but from the heretics and the heathens and the atheists.
Oh, well, when you put it like that.
But, Your Highness, this will reflect very poorly on the church.
True. You know what this means, Flanagan?
Warning label. A warning label on the box. Not for Catholics in big letters.
Too subtle.
Instant purgatory if used by Catholics.
I like it. Divine branding.
Excellent, your popedom. Will there be anything else?
That will be all. You may leave.
All right, we are back. All right, we've got a couple things here on my chat I want to talk about. Good morning, Stephanie Ryan. Thank you for joining me. I see you out there. You're a busybody. You're out there. It's Phoenix time. Asks, so it's just a guy who happened to be elevated to God status. Yeah, if we're talking about Jesus, that Jesus was just a prophet. Muslims think I think Jesus was allegedly a prophet. He was not God incarnate. Nope, he didn't say he was God incarnate. God himself called Jesus, "You are my son." Everybody called Jesus the Son of God. Everybody called Jesus the Son of God. The one time Jesus said, "The Lord and I are one," he was talking about how they agree on something. Go read it. Somebody accused, "Oh, so you're saying you're God?" He's like, No, don't stone me. I'm not saying I'm God. Go read that shit yourself. So he was not God. He even says in Mark chapter 6 that when you go, a prophet is not respected in his own hometown, because he went home and they didn't respect him. He called himself a prophet. But Christians want to worship him as a God, because they want to worship him, but they can't worship him because the first commandment says they can't worship Jesus. They have to worship God. Jesus is just a prophet bringing you the word of God, and they don't want that. So they elevated Jesus to godhood so they could worship him instead of God. As in, just as the God's people in the forest were worshiping wrongly, intentionally wrongly, despite God, him telling them wrong, Christians are doing the same thing. Interesting, isn't that? So they're not supposed to worship God or Jesus. They're supposed to worship God. Anyway, so that's that. Aaron Hartley says hell is not eternal torment. Hell is death, not eternal torment. Actually, if you were probably talking about the Old Testament, if we were talking about the Old Testament, the end of a person was death. Not hell. Hell was not death. It's the same thing. You just died. There was no hell. Not the same thing. However, with the New Testament, Jesus brought hell. And you're saying it's not eternal torment. Well, let's compare your words to the words of Jesus, shall we? Mark chapter 9. Let's see here. If your hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life maimed with two hands than to go into hell, where the fire never goes out. Jesus' words, my ignorant friend. Let me continue. Now, Aaron, I mean ignorant in the most loving possible way. I mean, you're almost certainly not intentionally ignorant. You have been misled. So if I come off as a dick, well, it's because I'm a dick. But I don't mean to be a dick. Anyway, hang out. You see what I mean? So let me continue, though. So where the fire never goes out. Right here, Jesus is telling you there's a place of eternal punishment where the fire never goes out. I got 3 more examples just waiting. Hold on, let me finish. I ain't even done with this one yet, though. And if your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off. It is better to enter your life crippled than to have 2 feet and be thrown into where? And if your eye causes you to stumble, I get it. It's funny, but pluck it out. It is better for you to enter the kingdom of God with 1 eye than to have 2 eyes and be thrown into hell. So you seem to think, and we talk about this on the show a lot, you seem to think that there's no eternal burning and none of that business. Jesus would disagree with you. I know you probably know more about the Bible than Jesus does. Isaiah told that Jesus is the Son of God. Isaiah told that Jesus is the Son of God. Here's the deal, actually. Ezekiel, check this out. Akeem, I like you. Check this out. I don't even know you. Check this out. Jesus was trying to be a prophet. He wasn't trying to be God. He was trying to be a prophet. And so if you go read some of the books that were used in rabbi teaching, Jewish teachings, they would be the Ezekiel, Daniel, stuff like this, the story of Ezekiel. And in the Ezekiel, God talks to Ezekiel throughout the whole thing and addresses Ezekiel throughout as Son of Man. Son of man, put that dog down. Son of man, give me that cup. Son of man, cut off your penis. Calls him Son of Man the whole time. That's what God calls the prophet Ezekiel. Okay. So now, knowing that Jesus was teaching from these books, because Jesus was a rabbi at some point, remember? So he knew that God called Ezekiel Son of Man. When Jesus finally took on his ministry, go read Mark. What does Jesus call himself? Jesus calls himself Son of Man throughout. Jesus is trying to be a prophet. He's trying to convince the people that he's with right there that he's the prophet. The same prophet or the same prophet as Ezekiel. Go check it out for yourself. Go read it. Why else would he call himself? Go read that. Check it out. It's cool. Jesus does not call himself the Son of God. Jesus calls himself the Son of Man. But everybody else, God creature, speaks directly to Jesus. Mark chapter 1, God creature, Jesus, you are my son. All the way through, even in John chapter 10, where the Christians like to go, oh, here he claims that they're one. Even in that, go read that. And throughout that entire thing, as I already mentioned, first of all, we blow it away by going, well, he did say that, but then he later says, we agree on something. That's all I meant. Don't stone me. But go look at the rest in all of that text. Throughout all of that text, he speaks of himself and God as a separate person. Don't stone me. We are all welcome in my Father's house. Don't stone me. This and my Father, me and my Father, this blah, 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 blah. We, or blah, blah, blah. He talks completely as if there are two people throughout. Jesus never talks about himself and God as the same person. Throughout the book, he talks about himself and God as different people. You will be allowed a room in my Father's house. Not my house, right? My Father's house. Over and over, Jesus does that over and over and over and over again. And never does he claim to be God. He's trying to be a prophet. Prophet Ezekiel. Son of Man. I am the Son of Man. When the Son of Man returns, he will bring his angels and he will gather up all of those who do sin and who are iniquitous and who are vile to the Lord, and they will burn them in a pit of fire or a furnace for eternity. The Son of Man. That's Jesus trying to be a prophet. The Son of Man will come. Why doesn't he say God? Why doesn't he right there say to God, I will return as God? He's not God. Never does he claim to be God. Even in the Revelation, he's separated from God. It's a separate thing. But Christians want to worship Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And let's see, there's another one here. This is Matthew. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. Aaron, I hope you're still here. Here's another scripture for you. Matthew 10, 27 through 28. What I tell you in the dark, oh shit, wrong one. 1,000 apologies. Different argument. It's a secret. It's a secret. Jesus is teaching in secret. Matthew 10, 28. God will destroy you in hell. Don't be afraid of those who could destroy your body. Fear the one who can destroy your body and soul. That sum is powerful motivation. Matthew 10:34, in case you didn't get it the first time. Oh, this is about the bringing peace. Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. Most people stop there and like, yay, we've proven he's brought a sword, or like, Jesus has brought it. But well, what does he say after that? What does Jesus, the Father of peace and love and mercy, the man who Christians want to say they claim to have the token on what a good, wholesome family relationship is? What does he say after that? Do you know? Good Christians. Interesting. He says, I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household. For the Bible tells me so. Next up in the bark bank, a clergyman with a holy hustle and maybe a few unholy loopholes.
Hi, Barks. Blessings and belly rubs to you all. I'm Father Fennekin, and today I'm here seeking $50,000 for 3% of my soul-saving startup, Holy Halos, the world's first, soon-to-be, church-approved condoms. Following the ways of the Lord can be hard and often require sacrifices, of the flesh. Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of Holy Halo condoms.
Hold on, Father. The church very much doesn't like condoms. How do you expect to sell these?
Well, you're right, but these aren't just any condoms. No, my furry financiers, these are permeable, but every single halo has been dipped in holy water, a divine divider between you and sin. You can finally frolic freely and still keep that sweet spot in heaven. Permeable, but dipped in holy water to keep the sin out, but let the babies in.
Let you get your stick wet without getting your stick stuck.
If you know what I mean.
Oh my! Very embarrassing every time.
So basically, they don't work as condoms, but they let you get away with having sex without going to hell?
Exactly. The church gets to keep making babies, but you don't have to keep going to confession. Think of it. No more guilt. No more awkward "I'm saving myself for marriage" speeches. With Holy Halos, you can take those pray hands and turn them into lay hands.
Didn't I read that holy water is full of bacteria like E. coli? Won't this be harmful to women's health?
The words are English, but I don't understand the question.
How are you addressing the issue holy water presents for women's health?
Again, I'm not understanding.
She does that. Well, we don't get it either.
Is that mesh from a window screen?
Ah, that's a keen eye you have there, young lass. Yes, yes. Another fine selling point, rough on the outside to increase her shame, as it should be. But, soft and smooth on the inside, internally lubed and ribbed for his pleasure. We even have custom scents.
Scents? Now you have my attention. What flavors we talking? Don't pitch me that vanilla missionary nonsense, Padre.
Well, we do have virgin vanilla, but we also have miracle mint and cooing camel, and my personal favorite, sweat of the Savior.
And the Vatican, they've blessed this endeavor?
Well, not exactly. I'm still waiting on the papal decree one way or the other.
I love it, but you're asking 50 grand for only 3%. That's rough, Father, real rough.
Not running with the big dogs on this one. I'm gonna stay on the porch.
Me too. Good luck, Father. 15%.
Ouch, 15%, that's highway robbery even for the church.
Come on, Father. We're dogs. We know a bone when we see one. 10%, and we'll even bless your branding.
Look, meet me in the middle, 7%, and I'll baptize all your puppies.
7% works for me. Father Flanagan, it looks like we
Wait a
have...
second. Our producers say we have a special call-in bidder. Let's get him up on the screen. Folks, we have the guardian of the sacred fire hydrant himself.
Oh no.
Defender of the holy tennis ball and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poops a Lot the Fifth.
Flanagan!
Yes, your poetry.
50,000 at 20%.
20%?
And you get to keep calling yourself a father.
Sold to the pup in the very fine hat.
I knew you'd see it my way.
You're very wise, your hiney. Would there be anything else?
You may leave.
Father Flanagan's line of holy halos, ultra thin, spiritually thick. Available in 3 sizes: conservative, medium, and liberal. Good morning, everyone. Akeem Oliver, why the commercials? Usually it's for a break, so I can go get a cup of coffee or something, or somebody else can go get a cup of, something. Plus, they're fun and they're funny. They're not, as you saw, they're not normal commercials. I hope you enjoyed them. So I want to mention, hi, Kelly. Kelly Shearer, thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I don't know if you said hi or not. Things go by fast. Gary, Orange Sunrises and Whistle, I want to talk to you for just a moment. You're going on about love. Where does love come from, etc. Love is a chemical reaction in the brain. It is scientifically proven, provable, repeatable, demonstrable. Love is a feature of the chemicals and whatever makeup of the brain. It's a thing that animals learn. It's emotion, just like other emotions that are also things that are formulated in the brain. We also have people like psychopaths who are unable to feel certain emotions like love. What does that say? If your love is God. See, that's the whole deal. So there's that point. I first wanted to start out by telling you, listen, love is just an emotion. Dogs feel love. I fully believe if you don't think a dog, you're just a piece of shit if you don't think dogs have emotions. But we animals, creatures, all sentient things, I think, and we feel emotions of a fashion. Yeah, all of us. It's just chemicals in our brain, how we were evolved, right? It's complicated. Now, let me go on from there, though. Your notion that God is love is demonstrably false. Now, I will possibly grant you, because I'm not entirely familiar with the text, Jesus may say somewhere in the book that God is love. He may say that. Oh, I want to mention real quick that Jesus says, somebody calls Jesus good, and Jesus says, why are you calling me good? There's only one who is good, and it is the Father. Jesus separating himself. I just wanted to point that out. So here I want to tell you though. So our notions about love are scientific, repeatable. We can prove. If you don't know that or understand that, you could be learned, educated maybe. What is love in the Bible? I'll tell you a couple things. One is the love of a woman for her man and her desire for her husband and his power over her are all punishments by God. When Eve fell, one of her literal punishments by God was that her love for her husband and his power over her. Interesting, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? Love for your husband will be a sin, will be a punishment for a sin. And then, my friend, I'm going to give you some examples throughout the Bible. And you're going to know every one of these examples. Okay? And in every one of these examples, God, creature, did not ever in any way exude any kind of thing you would call love, unless you're a very abusive parent of some kind. So let's talk about what happened with Adam and Eve. That's a good one. He lied to them and then punished her severely for the whole thing, for all eternity. For all of women, for a simple thing that she did, that he lied about. God said, if you eat of the tree, you will die. Serpent says, well, you won't die, but you'll have the knowledge of the gods of good and evil. And then they ate of the tree, and God said, fuck, now they have the knowledge of the gods of good and evil. And Christians are like, yes, but they were going to never taste death, but now they'll taste death. But no. The other tree in there was the tree of eternal life. And God, creature, says, we can't let them get near that one because they have the knowledge of good and evil. So they didn't have eternal life. Oopsie. So that's your God, creature, right there, right from the beginning. The second, I think it may be the fourth chapter of the book, is God, creature doing an MMA style combat between Cain and Abel, where rather than being a loving, reasonable God, he is a dick to Cain. Because Cain literally brings the best that he's got, and God treats him like shit, apparently to the point that Cain goes and murders Abel, and God doesn't know it's going to happen. This is any of this part of a loving God, creature, any of that. And what was it they were doing? What was it Cain and Abel were doing? What did Abel bring that Cain didn't bring? Abel brought meat. So God, creature, wanted the flesh of an animal. And when it didn't get it, it turned its eye away from the guy who brought vegetables. And the vegetarian killed the meat eater. Right? That's what happened. Right? We've got the story of, I'm only like 2 parts out. I haven't even passed Adam and Eve and their kids. All right, so now let's go on to the story of Noah. God created humans, put them on earth, and then allowed sons of man and Nephilim to contaminate us, and then hated us so much. He even says that every thought from their childhood is wicked. And so he drowns all of humanity. Is that a God, loving God? Is that wisdom? Is that kindness? Is that powerful at all? Why can't he change anything? He can't. I mean, look at the hideousness of the story. Hideous. God is not love. And we're just now in chapter 6 or 7. Let's go on. to the end of that, in fact. So we start with God watching and intentionally having all these people drown. Couldn't blink them out of existence, by the way, mercifully. No, he had to horrifically drown them. Okay? God creature. And then after Noah gets where he's going, Noah's son does something wrong. And Noah, using the power of God, because Noah has no power. Nobody has any power. It's all God's power. So that means a condonement of God. Noah curses Ham. Curses Canaan, Ham's son, Noah's grandson, and all of his descendants to slavery for something they didn't do. Merciful? God is love? Whenever we talk about, I love the story. I love the story about Moses. God hardened the Pharaoh's heart. Go look at why God hardened. The Pharaoh was going to let the people go. God hardened the Pharaoh's heart so it could demonstrate how powerful and how horrific it is. So here's the story. Let me put it to you like this. God creature has got the Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh's got the God creature's people. Moses comes along and tells the Pharaoh to release the God creature's people. At this point, God creature could be wise. He could soften hearts. He could do all this stuff, but no, he does not. The Pharaoh is willing, literally willing, to allow these people to go. But the God creature hardens his heart. Let's hold on to that. God creature hardens his heart. Because the Pharaoh didn't let the people go, the God creature then goes on to commit the 10 plagues on Egypt, which are horrific. Go read them. I mean, I always end with just he goes along and kills all the firstborn children of Egypt. That's the 10th one. That's the worst one. But God creature does that. Remember, though, he didn't do it because of something they had done. He didn't do it because something the Pharaoh had done. He did it solely so he could demonstrate who he was and what his power was. And go look at what your God creature did. Did it sit down with Moses and with Pharaoh and use wisdom and love and negotiate and soften their heart? No, it's hideous, disgusting, ugly. Your God is not love. It is not love. It's not love. I mean, I could go on. I got more stories. Do you want to hear more? The story of Lot. I mean, there is no. I really can't see in any way where you could fathom somehow outside of maybe Jesus sometime, somewhere along the way when God is love. But by every demonstrable measure, it is monster. It is a hideous, disgusting monster. And you really can't, I mean, I don't see how you could argue anything. Look at the story of Noah. Or not Noah, but that other guy. What the hell's his name? I mean, there's so many. Oh, I love Lot. I love the story of Lot. Oh, yeah. Story of Lot. The God creature likes Lot so much. Lot, a person who's willing to sacrifice his own virgin daughters to save God's angels. He likes Lot so much, he's going to pull Lot out of Sodom to protect him. Lot's wife, though, looks back because she knows she's going to lust. She looks back in lust because she's going to miss the sinful ways. And for that, God creature turns her into a pillar of salt. Love, wisdom, mercy, understanding. When she turned around, why wasn't God there, standing there behind going, listen, my daughter, that's not what you want. You need to turn around and go with your husband. Follow your heart. Listen to my words. Go with me. No, he turned her into a piece of salt. We only know that, I guess, because maybe one of the daughters was behind and saw the mother turn around and like, oh, she turned into salt and just never looked back and kind of kept going, I guess. Right? But then, I mean, you're like, oh no, Chris is pissed off about the salt lady. But what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? Allegedly, 2 towns, 2 cities. Wicked. They were wicked and sinful. I can see that. Hold on. Let me show you this picture, okay? Got this man. Amen. I'm over here and I'm sacrificing, say, like, I don't know, a dog or a duck or whatever to Baal, which is not Yahweh, right? But they really don't like Baal. So I'm sacrificing it over here to Baal, and that's wicked and sinful. That's what we do here. That's what we do. That's how we roll. Rather than going in and showing his glory and his wonder and his peace and mercy to these people, he rains fire upon them. Of course, it's their fault. Naturally, it's their fault. Right? It's their fault. Well, but why couldn't he? Why couldn't he go soften their hearts? Why couldn't he go tell them? Why couldn't he go preach the word of glory to them? No, it's death by fire. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. I am wicked. I am doing wrong. I'm a bad Chris. Okay, so I'm in here, and me and the wife, because we're bad and we're wicked. So I can see, yeah, we're gonna get fire rain down upon us. Yeah, get out of her ears. But in the other room, I've got like a 3-year-old son. My neighbor, he's got a 7-year-old daughter, and Steve over there, he's got an infant. They just had a new baby. They're all wicked and worthy of being burned in fire. Is that love? Is that your God love? That's your God creature. That's what I mean. So yeah, I might have been a sinful person in Sodom, and even still, why didn't God come to me and appear to me? He appears to so many Christians. God, Jesus saved me. Why couldn't he have saved these people? No effort was made. Matter of fact, and I ain't kidding you, you're gonna think I'm lying. If I remember right, was it Lot or was it Abraham? One of them tried to talk the God creature out of destroying Sodom. He's like, man, if I can find 50 people, will you save the day? If you can find 50 people, all right. If I can find 30 people, will you spare the city? And God creature's like, yeah, I guess if you can find 30 people. And I don't remember if it was Moses or Lot or Abraham. Somebody all refresh my memory. But finally he gets down to about 10. He's like, if I can find 10 good people, will you spare the city? And God says, yes, if you can find 10. And that's the last mention of it. That's it. It's over. They don't talk about it no more. Sodom and Gomorrah are destroyed. There's no reference to Adam or Lot. I'm pretty sure it's Lot. Lot even trying. No mention of it at all. It just goes right to the rest of the story where, the girls get tossed out or I mean. So does any of this sound like love to you? I just don't really see how you could see God creature as love in any way. And even Jesus, remember Jesus, it's all about threat. Believe in Jesus or go to hell. It's all a threat. So where's your love? It's like, here's the deal. And I wish you could see this. I wish you could see this. Maybe if you're a person who's come from an abusive household, you can. You guys talking about your religion being about love is like having an abusive father or an abusive husband who comes home every day and just beats the fuck out of you, just does some of the most horrific things possible and says, I'm doing this because I love you. This is because of love. I love. This is love. And uses some words to describe what they do because of love. And you might even believe it and defend it. But it's abusive. The entire religion, Jesus is, this whole bag is abusive. Maybe you can't see it. I don't know. I mean, the whole deal with Jesus, believe in me or what? What? Interesting. Let's see. So I did want to go off on Orange people about love and God is love and God. Yeah, I hope I have cleared all that up for you, Orange Sunrise. If you need to, you can rewind this. Run it at half speed or something if you need to. Gates of Delirium. I dig it. What a name. Somebody said something earlier in the chat. Oh, you said something. I was going to steal it from you. Oh, you said, what was it? Somebody said it in the chat. I don't remember if it's friend or foe, but it was basically it was, I'm as dumb as I need to be, depending on the circumstance. I'm as dumb as, and I thought, man, that sentence resonates with me. It was kind of, somehow, I'm not really exactly, so if you said it, I'm going to try to catch it and see it again. But that's something like, Yeah. I'm as dumb as I need. The situation needs me to be or something. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. I may have to have that tattooed down the length of my penis in 1-inch letters. I'm just thinking. It was you, wasn't it? What was it, Phoenix? Say it again for me. It was just, I mean, if you're a person who, is said I'm as dumb as the situation needs me to be. Yes. I feel that in my core and my body. Yeah, so thank you for that. I'll pin that for me for later. It's just good shit. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. That's because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go do things and do stuff. I'm going to blaspheme some more. And I'm going to sin and do wicked things. And I hope you do too until we meet each other again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. If you don't mind, my friends, I'm going to read our super chats. We didn't have any, but that's okay. We did have Casual Realist celebrates 14 months of membership. So that's awesome. I do appreciate any and all support you guys get. One of the things I do realize is that as this economy collapses, it's going to be harder to support. I understand. Je comprends. Merci. So there's that. Now, I did want to tell you guys, we do have a Discord thing. Yes, we do. It's a Discord. And if you go to our Discord, and there will be a link. I will post a link here in the chat. They do a thing there. I think Miss Non-Sector, I've even pinned it from earlier. You have every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern in the Discord, in our Discord at the damn show. So let me put the Discord thingy here. Oops. So if you're not part of our Discord, go be part of our Discord. Now, I want to say something to you, friends, real quick, just briefly. Go join our Discord. It's great. It's wonderful. It's a community. It's fun. Don't PM me. Don't DM me. Don't send me your private messages. If you know me, great. But there's just been kind of a rash of, I'm getting, and I'm not trying to be rude about it. It's not just me, really. It's the whole thing. There's a server rule about not DMing people who don't know you or some business. I'm just saying, don't go there going, yay, I'm going to go join that Discord and I'm going to talk to Chris and ding Chris and just get started. First of all, ask Patriot of the West, Miss Non-Sector, any of those people who do engage with me on Discord, and you will find that I am slow, very slow to respond on Discord. It's just not my bag. But I'm just saying, we love our Discord. Go join the Discord. I actually learned that from this guy. What's his name? He's a content creator. Teaches you how to. Really cool. He's from Australia. He teaches you how to do YouTube and Twitch and all that. And he had a thing where he created these overlays so I could hit a button and all of a sudden it'd be raining or whatever. And he's like, go to my Discord, find the files there. When you get there, don't PM me. Don't, because apparently it's a problem and it's become a problem for me. So anyway, guys, I tell you what, follower of Christ, I highly encourage you to go back and watch the show. Please, again, if you need to, run it at half speed or something. Maybe write shit down. And just, I know it sounds like I'm being sardonic, but I'm not. Do that. And go point out everywhere where I am wrong. Challenge thus to you. All right, guys, I'm off to save the world. I hope you have a wonderful day. I wasn't done yet. Fat finger. I hope you have a wonderful day today. I hope you're ready to sin safely with me tomorrow. Sin safely tonight, my friends, and we will see you tomorrow, Thursday, the day of Thors. And it is a cult. Christianity is indeed a cult. It's a blood cult, in fact. So for those of you who don't realize, you're actually in a blood cult. Thank you, Kelly, and my other graybeard friend out there. Kind none. Thank you for joining. Yes. So yeah, blood cult. Blood cult. Washed in the blood of.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to the tone. Confession booths, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan here to set the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goat's the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find redeeming grace. From your living room to the kitchen sink, light the gold candle, don't even think.